I mean, we're giving spoilers away. Is that okay?
Massive spoilers.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like if you haven't seen Game of Thrones at this point,
then you're a loser.
Yeah.
Please.
Welcome to Tipsy Talk with Jessica Chastain.
Hello.
Hello and welcome. I'm genuinely very excited for this one. You're sort of an idol of mine, so.
Are you kidding me?
I'm a little bit nervous right now. Yeah, I actually am.
Aw, but the redheads here.
We've got
We're
the
gonna have
redheads.
fun. I used to work in a restaurant, and I was like, I can open a bottle. Here we go. Let's do it. What are we gonna talk about while I do this, so I don't look?
What are we going to talk about while we do this? Well, let's talk about the movie. Tell me how the experience was on the film.
First of all, it was awesome because I got to work with Sophie.
You guys seem like you really genuinely hit it off.
We hate each other. I freaking love her. She is so cool and, you know, much cooler than I was at her age. Much cooler than I am now. What I kind of like love about her is not only is she a great actress, but she's also just a very kind person. It was clear, like, looking at the crews and how she treated everyone. Mm-hmm. Not just me, because she was a little afraid of me when she met me, she told me.
We all are, Jessica.
All right, here we go. This is the moment of truth.
Let's do it. Slight terrified. Oh!
Boom. And you see what I did there? I used the towel. You always should use a towel, because otherwise, it might have gone.
Well, this is why I get terrified when I'm opening them, so now I know in future.
Yeah.
Towel. Thank you so
You're
much.
welcome.
Well, today.
Here we go.
Yes, Sophie's lovely. I actually interviewed her years ago, sort of before the massive fame hit. Mm-hmm. And yeah, even then, she just seems like a lovely, lovely girl. And I've been seeing so many videos of you teasing her about the end of Game of Thrones as well, and
did you see
predictions.
The end of Game of Thrones?
Yes, I did see the end of it. Yes.
How good was that?
I'm still slightly shell-shocked from all of it. Cheers.
Queen of the North.
Thank you. Queen in the North.
This is a cheers
to the Queen in the North.
To the Queen of the North.
You were very much a fan of her and the Queen in the North, and are you happy? Are you happy with the results?
Yes.
Great.
I was afraid someone was going to kill her. That Sansa and I would have then lost my mind.
Right up until that last moment, you're sort of still going, oh, because it's such an unpredictable show and you just don't know.
But lately it hasn't felt unpredictable.
No, it's,
The first 3 seasons, it was like, you were having PTSD all the time from watching the show. You're like, oh my, these people I love.
The Red Wedding, I'm still...
The Red Wedding.
Still shook, yeah.
So, man, I mean, you know what? I think the great thing about being an actress is even though you can be a massive fan of a show or whatever, you always see that it's not real. So I never kind of get into the point where like I can't pick myself off the ground because I'm like, that's fake.
I struggle to watch horror and I actually make horror. So that's helped because you can kind of do that, oh, it's just ketchup. You know, you can imagine the crew behind the camera and suddenly it's like a little bit less frightening because you know they're not really alone in the big scary house.
I will say this though, because I'm in the sequel of it. There were some scenes where it was the one time where I was like, yeah, would rather not be here standing next to Pennywise. We quick to roll because I don't have any chit chat.
Do you really feel that presence when you?
Yeah, because he's terrifying. He also teases you. So like at the read through, it was all the actors meeting each other first day, and all of a sudden he started one of his scenes, and he had the line, "Boo." You know how he does that?
Yep.
Without telling me, all of a sudden he was just like there, like, and. I think it must be on video somewhere because they were recording it. I jumped and I screamed in front of all those Warner Brothers executives.
Do you know what? It's really heartening to know that even you have those moments where you're like, oh God.
It wasn't even in hair and makeup. It was literally just his voice.
Sorry, we should talk about the film.
Dark Phoenix.
Dark Phoenix. I think what really struck is there's clearly some parallels in this film between mental health. And the story of the X-Men. And I think that the mutants have always been a sort of a metaphor for people who are different and people who aren't accepted. Being someone who sort of advocates for mental health, how was that for you, sort of reading that script and seeing those parallels?
What I really liked about the script is that it kind of explores female rage. You know, this sense of for the longest time we're taught to be good little girls and, you know, not really create an issue, or if a man has said something with authority, he's strong. Yeah. And a woman with authority, she's difficult. So my character says it to her, says, listen, are you just gonna follow the rules of this weak man, or are you going to be the most powerful creature in the universe? All these women marching all over the world right now, these women's marches, I think really kind of goes to show that that kind of talking back is important for women, especially right now.
Absolutely. And you and Sophie explore it very well together. So how is that relationship for you guys developing? Because you are her antagonist, and yet there's sort of a point where
I empower her at the same time.
It's really interesting, that dynamic.
This film is complicated because we see heroes do selfish, sometimes not necessarily for the good of others, things, and we see quote unquote villains do empowering things.
Another thing I just kind of wanted to ask about as well is you're one of the founders of the Me Too movement, of the Time's Up movement. Sorry, should I say?
Yeah, I wouldn't say that I'm a founder of it. I started immediately going to these meetings of women coming together and figure out, like, what can we do to not just pass this moment? What can we do to create change, not just in art industry, but in other industries? What can we do to support women? Those meetings started to happen before we had even a name called Time's Up.
Do you feel like that's being heard? Do you feel like the promises are kind of being lived up to?
I can see some changes, but I don't know. I mean, listen, it's not fixed. That's for sure. But yeah, there's like movement and changes, and I've now like been on projects where I've had, you know, that I've been attached to for a long time, and I have my deal in place, and I've had the male actor's lawyer call my lawyer and say, hey, can we get pay equality with Jessica? Yeah. And I'm like, sure, let's do it. You know, of course. That I like that it's not just women saying, hey, you know, it should be equal. I like that men are saying it too.
I think sometimes we forget as well that we do have male advocates too,
Absolutely.
and we do have people who help and represent. And I've got there's a lot of men in my life who you know, in the film industry and as friends who've been really, really supportive, and that's so important as well to acknowledge.
McAvoy's one. He was posting about the 50-50 and pay equity years before all of this happened.
Well, I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, on his Instagram. And then also too, like when we did Disappearance of Eleanor Rigby, he and I got paid the same. We were doing the same amount of work.
Wow.
And it wasn't even like, it wasn't something I necessarily asked for. It was just something that happened. He welcomed it, which is a bit like, wow, that was a while ago. He's always been that way.
What's next for you? What's
next for me? I'm doing a film called 355, shooting in London for 3 or 4 months. And then I'm going to play Tammy Faye Baker. She was a televangelist in the United States. In a movie called The Eyes of Tammy Faye, and that starts shooting in the fall.
We're having to leave it there. I am so sorry, but cheers.
Cheers to you,
Have a
honey.
wonderful day, and good luck with everything, and with the film. Go see it in cinemas as soon as you can.